What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Cover 2 Recap. I'm Edward Lewis, publisher of BruinSportsport.com. This is Joey Kaufman, the UCLA beat writer for the OC Register. We're here tonight at UCLA at the Rose Bowl, where UCLA just fell to Arizona State 38-23 in a game that not a whole lot of people thought the Bruins would lose, especially not in this fashion. Joey, what happened?
Well, I mean, they certainly were not expected to lose. UCLA came in here as a 2-touchdown favorite. They were ranked number 7. People started to talk about this team as a trendy playoff team, and they really never got going. From the get-go, they were down 2-0 after Rosen got whistled for intentional grounding in the end zone, and they were playing from behind immediately, and the offense never seemed to generate much of anything. They went 3 and out the first 3 drives. The 4th drive was the intentional grounding. I mean, that's what really seemed to me. They were playing from behind the whole way.
There was so many excuses you could have thrown at this game, and Jim Mora kind of gave us them all after the game. He talked about injuries, first and foremost. No Miles Jack, no Marcus Rios, no Fabian Moreau, no Eddie Vanderdoes. He really hammered that home. He also said that, starting school this week, for whatever reason, this has been kind of their bugaboo every year. Whenever they start school, their next game is a little sloppy. There was 1,000 different reasons. In your opinion, why do these letdowns keep happening to UCLA?
It's a good question because it does seem to happen. You saw it with Utah last year. To me, maybe it gets developed into this narrative where UCLA loses that first game. But, I mean, Arizona State's a talented team. They're probably not indicative of the 42-14 loss to USC last week. They had a couple times where they had scoring chances and they turned the ball over in the red zone. So with Arizona State's a pretty talented team, and sometimes you're going to drop games in the Pac-12. If you play 9 conference games, you're probably not going to be able to go 9-0 every year. You're going to have to lose to somebody.
I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from this game is, a lot of fans on Twitter, a lot of people on message boards were talking about how this makes them sick and it's a horrible loss and fire Jim Moore and all this stuff. But, man, it's the Pac-12. And we were kind of talking off camera. I mean, outside of Marcus Mariota, maybe some of those Stanford teams over the years with Andrew Luck or whatever, I mean, people lose in the Pac-12. These are all very, very good football teams. And you look at the talent on Arizona State top to bottom, it's right there with UCLA, especially when you don't have Miles Jack, Marcus Rios, Fabian Moreau, and all those guys.
To me, if you're going to give a reason for the letdown, I think you got to go with the slow start. They were very slow out of the gate, and they put themselves in a lot of bad situations. I was looking at their third downs for tonight. They averaged 3rd and 8. They were 3rd and 8 most of the time, and you're not going to win when you're facing 3rd and 8s. And they converted 3 of 14 third downs. They were never in a good situation. I think that had a lot to do with it.
What do we learn from this game? It was a 38-23 game. For a while, it looked like they were going to get blown out. They came back, got pretty close. Obviously, they had the safety at the end where they kind of made a 2-point game, and then Kalen Balazs runs in that 20-yarder for really put this one away. But what do you take from this? What do we learn from this?
I don't think the offense has had one game where both sides, the running game has played well and the passing game has played well. The running game's best game was probably BYU Week 3, where Perkins rushed for over 200 yards. Nate Starks had the big kind of late drive, but Rosen had 3 interceptions. And then you look at some of the other weeks. The first game, Rosen threw for a ton of yards, but the running game was just kind of sort of average. And tonight it was, again, the passing game was able to move the ball at times. The running game was just stagnant from the get-go. And I think that's been a concern. Why isn't kind of both elements cohesive at one time?
I think the other thing I took away from this game is Rosen. I mean, a lot of people, there was a couple standouts. Isaac Svainea looked good. The receivers looked good. Thomas Duarte was great. A couple guys were standing out here and there. But Rosen made some throws tonight that were so wow. And then when you talked to him after the game, we were trying to get some stuff out of him. Why'd you throw the interception? Why did you do this? He was literally reciting coverages that Arizona State was doing. Well, they did this. They had a robber over the middle. I didn't see him. They did this. And cover 2 here. All this kind of stuff. And just the way his football IQ works and the way he's able to perform out here on the field, I know it's a loss, and I know, probably puts their BCS dreams to zero. But, man, that kid's got such a bright future, and I think that's what I took away from this one at least.
Kenny Clark, I also thought, was outstanding. I mean, the defense did a pretty good job in the first half. For as bad as UCLA's offense was in that first half, at one point they were averaging 0.8 yards per play. The defense kept them in the game. They were down 15-10 at halftime, and for as terrible as they looked on offense, to be down and be in that position, I think was a testament to kind of the defense.
Back-to-back Thursday night games after this bye weekend. Jim Mora not happy about that. You can watch that on BruinSportsport.com about, his feelings on playing back-to-back Thursday night games during the middle of the season, during classes and whatnot. But it's against 2 very good opponents, Stanford and Cal. And, where do they go from here?
It's a tough spot. With the Thursday night game, yes, I understand why he doesn't like it, but at the same time, you have 10 days off before Stanford. You're playing a Thursday night game the week after. It's not on a short week. You're getting full 7 days between it, and then they come back against Colorado at home. That's got 10 days before it. So I don't know about that. But, I mean, these are 2 tough games coming up. Stanford is where they're as the time we're recording this, they're kicking Arizona, and Cal's looked pretty good, Jared Goff. I mean, if Marcus Rios is unable to play, with Fabian Moreau out, I mean, Jared Goff's got to be excited to play that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise anybody if that's an 0-2 stretch right there. I mean, no matter how UCLA plays, those are 2 very, very good football teams.
I don't think, as crazy as this college football season has been, and as crazy as all college football seasons tend to be, one loss does not ever put you out of conference championships, a run at the college football playoffs. For all we know, a 2-loss team could get into the playoff. There just isn't a huge sample size, and we haven't seen enough precedent for that to happen. So who the heck knows, really? But they're still in it, but things could also spiral south because they're just week in and week out in the Pac-12. It's challenging.
Got to win. That'll wrap up our coverage from UCLA here tonight. As always, you can follow Joey's coverage on Twitter at Joey R. Kaufman. You can follow my coverage on Twitter at Edward_Lewis. Until the next time, thanks for tuning in to the Cover 2 Recap.